You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Rob Anderson and Jason Brown.
Good Thursday afternoon, gentlemen.
Greetings.
How are you?
Listeners, viewers. Hope you're having a great Thursday as well. We are counting down the minutes until our windows in the studio become pressure washed.
Yeah, there's a pressure washing operation happening outside.
And we're all fairly nervous about it.
We should raise those shades and look like we're in a car wash.
We could go Micro Machine Man and just read the script. Like,
it's got that nice, gentle hum. It's almost putting me to sleep.
Yeah.
I feel a little dirty. I just want to stand up by the window and just let them
Yeah. You know, when we chose the 2:00 time, I don't think any of us thought about the impact of lunch. And just like that afternoon.
The lull.
Sort of lull that you have, you know?
Well, let's liven things up. Come on.
We need a coffee sponsor. Yeah. That's what we need. We need a coffee sponsor.
We do.
Yeah. That would be helpful. Right before we came on air, we were talking about to be fair, I was talking about bluegrass, and you guys were just putting up with my conversation.
We were listening.
I was enjoying it.
Listening intently.
But we were talking about bluegrass. It just seems like fall is that time of year to break out the banjos and mandolins. And anyway, I've been enjoying a lot of bluegrass, which is kind of random, but it made me think of the music selection that Brian was playing at Resolutions today and yesterday.
Yeah. And everybody, I think I officially offended Stanley.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
Well, you know, what's funny about that is you play that music, and I know your intention is for background music. I've had this responsibility role before, and you're like, hey, this is just something to you know, kill the awkward silence or whatever. But I went back to talk about a song that was playing and met someone else who was already back there talking to you about another song that was playing, and it was kind of fun. But anyway, all part of your role here, and
you know,
all the different hats that you
making
wear.
new friends. Just I didn't know you liked that.
Bailey and I stood there and talked about you know, Flaming Lips and all kinds of bands like after as a result of that conversation.
Yep.
So,
have you been to a Flaming Lips show?
I have not. I told him I would love to go.
It's something to behold.
Yeah.
They go all out.
Wayne and the guys really do put on a show.
And the one I saw, he got one of those plastic bubbles and was rolling around out into the
But you've seen him.
Oh yeah,
at Jazz Fest.
Actually, no, but it was in New Orleans. It was at a different festival out in front of their art museum, and it was we got right up on the stage because this was right after Katrina, so they were still in kind of recovery mode, so there weren't that many people there. So there were actually several good acts playing at that, but you could walk right up, and I was like, this is the way I want to see every festival, actually. And it's not good for the city, but I want to just walk right up.
I remember that year they split Voodoo Fest in half and had half of it in Memphis.
Yeah.
At Redbird Stadium, and we went over
actually,
for that.
Actually, this was a Voodoo Fest.
Is that what it was?
The year after that.
Okay.
I think.
06?
They were still slowly moving back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw the half of Voodoo Fest with like New York Dolls and Queens of the Stone Age and folks like that. But anyway.
It was a strange time, but I got to see some good shows and walk right up to the stage. So
that's a lot of fun. All right, well, this is not a music podcast, so I guess we should move on. But speaking of resolutions, we did wrap that up around mid-morning today. It started yesterday morning, but I figure resolutions is kind of inside talk, perhaps.
But, you know, to give the big picture, this is the grassroots, the end of the grassroots policy development effort at Arkansas Farm Bureau. It starts out in the counties, it goes for several months, and that comes up. And they make, they vote, they decide, they whittle down, they meet, they negotiate, they talk.
Yeah.
And this was the result.
This is sort of how a bill becomes a law, you know. It
exactly.
starts with an idea at a county at a policy development meeting, which then goes to the annual meeting in that county. And if that resolution passes, it comes here to resolutions and is debated or discussed in a resolutions committee meeting, and then it goes before the entire resolutions committee, and if it makes it through there, then it goes to annual convention, and if it makes it through there, then it's policy. and this is a relevant conversation, not only because it's happening today, but that's, we've talked a lot about our ballot issues.
Right.
And this is exactly how those
together.
positions became a thing for Arkansas Farm
definitely.
Bureau.
It starts with this process and what happened today. So
yeah, which has been really fascinating to watch. It really, I was here last year for it, but I don't know that I knew what I was watching for, if that makes sense. So it was really fascinating to see this year.
Yeah.
So anyway, good turnout.
It was nice and smooth too.
Yeah.
They got through business pretty quickly and efficiently. So
Yeah. So anyway, if you're looking to attend state convention, certainly we, I guess, wrapped up sort of the big bulk of the policy work on that.
Which is coming
this
right
week.
up. Speaking of Arkansas Farm Bureau Convention coming right up
Yep.
at the end of this month and 1st of December.
Yeah,
in Hot Springs.
I think it's the 30th through the 2nd.
Yeah.
I thought I put that in our notes, but yeah, in Hot Springs this year, as it alternates. And I think we just announced the save the date for that today, and then next week we'll be announcing our keynote speaker. So that's very exciting.
Big moment, and interested. I think people will be interested in that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of those resolutions and the ballot issues, you do still have time to vote. Early voting is still open. I believe it'll be open through Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Monday again, perhaps.
I think it does run right up until.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, for sure this week,
Yeah.
today, tomorrow. Matter of fact, we're going to go vote this evening. But anyway, while you're in the ballot box, if you're interested in Farm Bureau's positions on a few of those ballot issues, it is no on issue 1, yes on issue 2, and no on issue 4. We do not have policy that addresses issue 3, so we don't have a position there. But again, no on issue 1, yes on issue 2, no on issue 4.
And you can visit arfb.com to see more on those official positions.
That's right.
And some whys and wherefores. But yes, those are the ones we have positions on, and it came through this policymaking process that starts at the county level.
Yep, and don't forget we also have our resource at arkelect.com. So that's always there too. I did make the notes. It just didn't translate to my printed copy.
Yeah.
But but yeah. Oh, the only thing I think we left out is the theme, which is make it matter.
Yeah.
And if you're at officers and leaders, you know that theme was make it happen. This is the continuation of that. Anything else?
Well, let's see. We got the filthy farm jobs. I don't know if people out there have been seeing those on Thursdays.
Oh yeah.
The latest season that continues this afternoon.
Okay.
I think we have another filthy farm jobs going up, and I believe this one involves bees.
Okay.
And a well-known local chef here in the Little Rock area. So, sounds interesting to me. I think it
sure
will
does.
be, and they've been pretty spectacular so far this season. I think they're very
Bees
unique.
and a well-known chef. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see what that's about.
I'm just teasing just enough.
I know. I hear you.
Dangling it out there so people will watch. It'll be on Facebook, by the way.
Okay.
And YouTube. So.
And this afternoon, you said.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're listening, or if you're watching us right now on Thursday, it's a few minutes after 2 o'clock. If you're listening on Friday morning, then
it's
already there. Go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have watched it already. Shame on you.
We're still looking for additional, give us ideas.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
that's
If you
another
got a job,
Yeah.
for sure. I got asked 4 times at resolutions why I haven't done a filthy farm job yet. I'm like,
We can make that happen.
I don't know. No. I just
Look at no, he's dodging.
I just help. I just
Ducking
show
and
up and
dodging. Yeah.
carry heavy stuff or
Does pressure washing the Farm Bureau building count?
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
we can get you right out there on.
Filthy ag-related jobs.
See,
Well, it is a good day for it.
It's a spin.
Like almost 80 degrees today. So
Filthy, distantly related to agriculture jobs.
yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
but
guess it's
one
the opposite of filthy. It's cleaning.
it is
So,
clean.
yeah.
Last week was Ashley King from THV's
Yes.
Divine.
Yeah.
I
At
know
the
she
state
also
fair.
DJs on Alice 107.7 in the afternoons and maybe another radio station or two. But Ashley was fantastic. She followed our own Austin around.
Dealing with some pigs, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. It was pretty funny.
it was. They both did good. I thought it was great.
Yeah. So if you want to learn a little bit about farming and be entertained in the same time, go check out that series.
Well, now it's time to check out some news, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. We have been hustling to put the news together this week.
Yes,
I'll be honest with you. All right. Well, we'll start with Jackson County. Some news out of Jackson County. They are working there to address a well-needed issue critical to agriculture. And this story comes to us from Delta Farm Press and Whitney Hagewood. If you're a listener to the podcast, then you know we actually gave Whitney some congratulations a few weeks ago when she announced that she was going to be working as a journalist for Farm Progress and Delta Farm Press. So anyway, we have the pleasure of reporting one of Whitney's stories. So grain bin entrapment is a stark reality in agriculture. Those of us who work in the row crop sector certainly know that. Even with strict preventative safety measures, accidents happen, as we've seen a few times already this harvest season. These entrapment emergencies call for trained professionals with specialized equipment. In Northeast Arkansas, a community has joined forces to establish a grain bin entrapment rescue unit. The program is under development and will launch soon to serve Jackson County and neighboring counties in the state. An opportunity arose when Jackson County received funds from the American Rescue Plan. The Jackson County Quorum Court pledged $75,000 to the program and chose to invest the funding with the city of Newport because out of the 12 fire departments in the county, the Newport Fire Department is the only full-time paid company. Thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
According to Hagewood's reporting, training is currently underway for training. Is currently underway for first responders.
Yeah, that took them a second to figure out.
It sure did.
Why would they be raining?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Training is currently underway for first responders, with more extensive sessions on the horizon. All firefighters and paramedics employed by Newport Fire Department will be trained. Additionally, at least one volunteer firefighter from each of the other 11 stations will receive training. The team has equipped a self-contained vehicle with everything needed for an entrapment emergency. That includes rescue tubes, ropes, harnesses, saws, light systems, generators, and backup batteries. Partnership with the county allows for dispatch of the NFD outside city limits, which is Newport Fire Department, outside city limits in response to a grain bin emergency. They will respond to any call in the county and be available to respond to emergency calls from surrounding counties.
Very nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll start off my news today with an update about farm exports.
All right.
After hitting a record high in 2022, U.S. farm exports will plateau soon due to worldwide uncertainties. That's according to the USDA's chief economist this week. According to coverage in Successful Farming, the strong dollar and slower economic growth around the globe will be a drag on exports, which are now forecast by USDA at $193.5 billion this fiscal year, down slightly from the estimated record of $196 billion in the fiscal year that ended on September 30th. USDA Chief Economist Seth Meyer, speaking on a panel at the Farm Foundation Forum, said we're looking again at a pretty flat trade picture in the coming year. And Greg Dowd, chief economist at Aimpoint Research, said farm exports are going to see various serious headwinds in 2023. Experts at the Farm Foundation Forum said commodity prices will be volatile due to factors including warfare in Ukraine, inflation, global economic gyrations. Good word, by the way, gyrations. Supply chain disruptions, potential trade disputes, and damaging weather. Amanda Countryman, associate professor at Colorado State University, pointed to the high price and uncertain supply of fertilizer as a major issue, too, noting this is going to be a tremendous challenge for agriculture. Panelists said the drought that afflicts the winter wheat crop and shipping on the Mississippi River should lift by springtime, but that's assuming it acts like other La Nina weather events that they've had in the past and weather patterns, and that's still up in the air. So
this is the third consecutive La Nina weather pattern. I was looking at National Weather Service's website last night, honestly, for some data and on this. And anyway, well, I've got a trade or export story as well. And honestly, picking back up on a topic that we frankly haven't covered in a few weeks. And that's that grain export agreement with Russia that that has made headlines this week a couple of times, frankly. Russia has agreed to resume a deal that would allow the safe passage of Ukraine crop exports, an abrupt change following them pulling out of that same deal just a few days ago, this past Saturday. Farm Progress reports that Russia re-entered the deal after Turkey and the United Nations continued with shipments over Moscow's objections. The Kremlin's pullout of the agreement this past Saturday sent ag markets into a chaotic roller coaster that first sent prices soaring and ushering in a sharp drop in Chicago wheat futures once Russia rejoined the agreement. Grain prices have been volatile over the past few months, with speculation over the fate of the deal that was set to renew in mid-November. According to reporting from Farm Progress, 9.7 million tons of grain and other foodstuffs, that is their term, have been shipped since the deal was agreed. According to the UN's Joint Coordination Center, no vessels moved on Wednesday. This is yesterday.
Yeah.
And an update is expected today. I have not seen that yet. Ships are only authorized to move during daylight hours, but we will continue tracking the story report back as it develops. Certainly, if there's an update from today, and so on, we can bring that back. But
So far we've had chaotic roller coaster and gyration.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Tyler Oxner about this at break today, and he, we were asked a question about the impact of drought on the winter wheat crop, and trying to put sort of sense together on that. But in the midst of all the drought pressure that we have here in the U.S., you see, this whole exchange is
right.
really making the markets just.
There's a lot of bad circumstances out there right now, and that's
yeah. So anyway, well, let's step away from the news for a bit and learn about our annual Farm Bureau membership.
Your Arkansas Farm Bureau membership supports our work on behalf of Arkansas farmers, ranchers, and rural communities around the state. From youth leadership programs and academic scholarships to hunger relief and disaster support, and much more. You can make a difference and be a champion for your community. Join today at arfb.com.
Did you know your annual $40 ARFB membership contributes to important work being done in your local community? County Farm Bureaus across the state provide support in the way of filling food backpacks for students, providing scholarships, and even taking time to read in local schools. It's something you'd like to be involved. If that's something you'd like to be involved in, I had some fun with that one. Gyrations. Please consider joining or renewing at arfb.com to support our work in your community. And again, it's very easy. I did it this year, renewing my membership.
I was going to ask.
Yep, it's very easy.
I got a call from my agent on the 31st that said, "Hey, have you renewed?" I said, "No, I'll do it right now." And it was super easy.
Yeah. Very easy. Well, we've had a lot of news lately about USDA funding for major projects, particularly rural broadband. And now we have an announcement related to meat production. USDA Secretary Tom Vilsack announced yesterday that the administration will invest $73 million in 21 grant projects through the first round of the Meat and Poultry Processing Expansion Program, or MPPEP. I'm not sure that's easier to say, actually.
Yeah.
The move is meant to expand meat and poultry processing capacity, which in turn could increase competition, supports producer income, and strengthen the food supply chain and lower consumer costs. That's the goal here. In addition, there will be an investment of $75 million for 8 projects through the Meat and Poultry Intermediary Lending Program, as well as more than $75 million for 4 meat and poultry-related projects through the Food Supply Chain Guaranteed Loan Program. According to the USDA announcement, the goals of these funding initiatives are to support producer-focused business models, strengthen local and regional food systems, reducing barriers to processing, and restoring jobs in rural areas and supporting family-owned businesses. So, again, that's the goal here, but this week's announcement on USDA funding was focused on the meat processing piece.
Yeah, certainly something that was talked about a lot at resolutions.
Yes, that is an ongoing and important issue.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I'll wrap up my portion of the news today with a rundown of the row crop harvest progress. Goodness gracious. As we mentioned last week, you can check off the 2022 Arkansas corn crop. It's in the books. Cotton sped along this week, surging another 18%, completed with a total of 87% of the crop harvested. That puts us well ahead of the 5-year average. Farmers undoubtedly will be racing to beat the rain forecasted for this weekend. The peanut harvest is trucking along with 70% completed, and the rice crop is just shy of being done as of Monday this week. Soybeans are clipping along with 88% of the crop harvested, and winter wheat planting is well underway with 48% of the crop in the ground and 22% emerged. We are following reports of reduced acres due to dry conditions and may have updates for that in the coming weeks. But for now, the winter wheat seems to be faring pretty well with over what has been planted, with over 65% rated good to excellent in quality. We did get some drought relief with the rain system that moved through the state last weekend, with most of the county burn bans being dropped and drought conditions improving, especially across the southern portion of the state. Good news, especially when you can talk about that with more rain in the forecast coming in late tomorrow night.
It's been drought for so long now. So that's
now we gotta focus on that river.
Yeah. Well, to close out, I have a little bit of news on farmer policy concerns at the national level. With work already underway on the latest Farm Bill overhaul, the Purdue University Ag Economy Barometer poll took a look at agriculture policy issues last month. What they found was that more than 1 in 3 of the large-scale farmers surveyed for the monthly barometer chose interest rate policy as the most important policy program affecting their farms in the next 5 years. That was an interesting finding. Second most important was the crop insurance program.
Yeah.
And that was selected by 27%, followed by environmental policy at 16%. This week, the Fed announced the 4th rate increase in a row, and investors believe the monthly increases will continue, although maybe smaller, into March, according to CNBC.
Mm-hmm.
Concern over rising interest rates grew once again in October and is adding to the unease among producers who are worried about its impact on their farm operations, said agricultural economist Jim Mentert of Purdue. So that is an issue that has popped up over the past year, particularly of strong concern for the next few years.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's one of those where, goodness, there's no really way to win that. I mean, we're hurting because of inflation, but the only way to, address inflation.
You've heard that debate start,
say,
are they going too far? Are they doing too much? Are we destroying the economy to save the economy? There's a lot of ongoing debate there, and we'll find out.
Yeah, certainly. But all right, well, that's the news for this week. That means
again, I've left everyone bummed out as we're walking out.
But you know what? Yeah. The bright side is the Purdue sentiment survey is the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, man.
You sort of latched onto this thing.
I am running low on something, or I can't find. Let me find a survey. Surveys are the savior.
Well, that one has been a good one all summer.
Well, and they test. They look at different issues, and that's what makes it interesting. It's not the same thing over and over again. So
yeah. I hear something that sounds like a snare in my headphones.
It's getting closer to me.
It's coming, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I feel like we must rush.
Water is coming.
All right. What do you have for us today?
I got several. I didn't. Okay. Last week we talked about one of these and threw the hint out there, and you guys guessed this one when it was actually the other one. So it's baseball.
So that's it. That's it, Rob. That's the question. You got to get.
It is baseball.
You're asking me to remember.
It is baseball. It's World Series. Who won the World Series in 2016?
Okay, so St. Louis Cardinals?
This popped up. I was flying through O'Hare. It popped up on Facebook. The Cubs.
The Cubs.
Yeah. Oh, all the W flags were down that.
Yeah.
I went up the terminal from Home Alone. All the W flags, like somebody's pumped up. I literally just saw
after
that.
108-year drought.
The goat.
I should have known that because I got to go to a Cubs game that year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up there at Wrigley, and that was the year they won. So I considered myself their good luck.
Yeah,
and
well, that's
they need me to come back.
That's the only
clearly.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Pop culture, Back to the Future.
Yes.
It was predicted.
Oh, they predicted
That's
it.
right.
That's
I remember that.
Man, what a good movie. I
This
saw
is,
where Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd appeared together at an event a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Michael
Talk
J.
about
Fox is-
heartwarming.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's really struggling. I think
He
you
is.
know, with
That
was it
disease is
Parkinson's.
Parkinson's.
Yeah.
But that was a nice scene.
Yeah.
One that my mom would really love. Her favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz. And,
Okay.
on this day in 1956, it aired for the first time on television. So
Oh,
And
that's
that
a
was
good
the,
one.
That was the place for years and years because when I
It
was a
was.
kid, we would watch it.
yeah, it
You
was.
would see it one time a year.
That was only
Oh,
day of the
really?
year.
Yeah,
My
'cause
mom
you
was like,
you didn't buy VHS,
Now,
Right.
This is,
or whatever.
because I'm old.
yeah.
This is pre all of that. So the network,
Exactly.
network would show up
Back
once a
in
year.
yesteryear.
Yes.
That was the only day of the year you'd hear my mom saying, "We're watching TV," because otherwise it was.
That's a good one.
1992, Democratic politician Carol Moseley Braun became the first African American woman elected to the U.S. Senate.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So
okay.
pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Here comes the cleaning, by the way.
Yes, I can
It's
I
here.
can feel it. I can hear it. I'll hurry. 2014. This building officially opened in New York City.
Empire State Building.
No.
What year?
2014.
Oh,
Yes, 2014.
for
Empire
some
State
reason
Building.
I had 1914. Yeah.
what did they call the replacement for the
That's it.
The-
It's the One
the-
World
the
Trade
One
Center
World.
World
Okay.
Trade,
opened
Yeah.
to commemorate.
I
But
blame
anyway,
it on the pressure
I didn't-
washer crew.
Yeah.
I didn't put this one on there, but it was. I just found it fascinating. I don't even remember what year it was, but it was China. It was the Great Wall of China. You know,
Uh-huh.
they discovered on this day an additional like 15 something miles of it, like just
What?
out of nowhere.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, this wall's
Yeah,
been here
like,
the whole
hey.
time.
No
and
one
we-
ever walked over here.
Yeah.
What do you know?
God.
It's almost like they looked over and they're like, "You think this is part of the Great Wall?"
Yeah.
This
'Cause
is your. This is
Hey,
your
John, I
reminder.
just was thinking.
But yeah,
and,
look it up.
it's
This is your
They were just
reminder
like, "Yeah, we found 15 miles of this wall."
your reminder that China is very big.
yeah,
And
yeah, no
That's-
doubt.
I found it very funny. So,
Yeah,
anyway.
that is really funny. All right. Well, that wraps up the news, but not the pressure washing for
Yes.
this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're very grateful for you taking the time to watch and or listen.
And remember, you can catch the live stream on Thursdays, 2 p.m., Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you turn on notifications to get alerts when we go live. Listen to the audio versions on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
That's right. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau and hosted by me, Jason Brown.
And Rob Anderson.
Our show is produced by
me.
Brian Pistol.
Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.